Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of Patronkast Plays Mortal Kombat 9 Complete Edition. This is the Steam version, and Shad will be on the buttons because he's the one who owns it.
Yes, indeed.
On Steam.
Indeed. Welcome, everyone.
But also, I am Razor, here to pick apart every single fucking thing that Netherrealm Studios ever did wrong, starting from here. And Smokeman's here too.
Why am I here?
Because we enjoy your company.
This was your second game, right? You came in with MKDC, if I'm not mistaken.
Versus DC was my first game, but this
Right.
is the game where I got hooked.
As it was for many people.
Yeah. No, look, but before I get into all the things they did wrong, I do want to point out that as a video game, it's really good. Mortal Kombat 9. Mortal Kombat 9 is probably the best NetherRealm Studios Mortal Kombat game.
You're beating me to the punch here because I had a couple of things I wanted to say before we started too, but keep going.
I mean, aesthetically, I have some costume complaints that we'll get to, but most of this game looks fantastic. It looks like Mortal Kombat should look. It plays like Mortal Kombat should play.
Oh, yes.
It has all the characters and most of the stages from the original trilogy. It's just that the story made some pretty glaring mistakes, and every story since then has had to carry those mistakes forward because you can't build a house on a bad foundation. It will just collapse. You need the load-bearing pillars to hold up the weight. They're just not there.
So yeah, a few things. A couple quick points. Number 1, you may be asking, where do I buy this game? Because it was delisted from Steam in, I think, 2020. Why was it delisted from Steam? No one seems to know for certain, but the common theory is that since the rights to Freddy Krueger reverted to Wes Craven's estate, this game was affected, and rather than remove Freddy from the game, it was probably decided it'd be simpler, cheaper, most likely, to just take the whole thing down. That's a theory, not fact, as far as anyone knows.
It makes the most sense, but it is interesting to note that the mobile game has both Freddy and Jason and hasn't had to be, delisted from the App Store or anything
really weird.
like that.
They must because no one gives a fuck about it.
They must do different contracts for mobile, is all I could tell you, you know? Because mobile games are designed to last in perpetuity for as long as they possibly can.
What else?
But yeah, we need a remaster of this, and if all you have to do is take out Freddy, nobody's gonna be mad, all right? There'll be some people on Twitter who don't matter who will be mad, but they'll still buy and play the game.
So, if you want to get this now, your only option is to actually go find a Steam key reseller. Good luck to you. I mean, buyer beware. It took me 2 separate ones. The first one took a week of giving me keys that had already been used until I finally asked for a refund, which, to be fair, they were very good about. And the second one only took 2 separate tries, and then I had it. And I do not regret it, because I've had some fun with replaying this in the past couple of days. What else do I want to say? For story mode tonight, we will be using a upscaled 1080p mod available on nexusmods.com. The story originally ran in 720p, but someone upscaled it to 1080. So, that's nice. Makes it a little prettier. There's a bit of, hitching going on I've seen in the cutscenes when they kick in after a fight, but nothing too bad.
I do have one question before we start. What difficulty will you be playing on?
That is my next point. We are going to be going...
Expert.
Fuck you, no. We are going to go through this on easy, but not very easy, to keep things interesting but not boring. Because the MK9 AI is still kind of a jerk-ass. And
I know that even on very easy, Shao Kahn can still win.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't feel like getting my shit pushed in by Shao Kahn for 10 consecutive rounds. When I went through this last night to practice, he beat me 3 times, once, twice in the second time he fought.
That's the interesting thing, is that, all the regular characters, pretty, if you set it to easy, they're easy. Shao Kahn still feels like a boss, and I feel like something about that translates to how the boss feels in the story, and that's one of the problems with Corrupted Shinnok and Chronica,
Maybe.
is that their difficulty just didn't really match the grandeur that you were supposed to be feeling when you fought them. And so they come off feeling like bad bosses. And I mean, we're not playing X, so I'm not going to go on a rant about how Cassie made Shinnok look stupid, but
Shinnok will talk about it another time, because I didn't mind him in X much.
no, he was great most of the way. It was just the very end.
It's funny you mentioned the difficulty thing about Shao Kahn, because I played this game for an entire summer break. This was like my religion for like 3 entire months, and I got so good at fighting the AI because the netcode was terrible. I could double flawless the entire tower, including Shao Kahn.
Nice.
The ones that give you the most trouble are the sub bosses, Goro and Kintaro, because they can just do some random bullshit.
Oh yeah,
and you won't be able to see it coming.
Their X-rays take 50% damage, like free.
It is interesting. You can play as Goro in one of the Challenge Tower missions, and his controls, which is true to whenever one of the console versions of MK3 would let you play as a boss, their buttons were all wrong compared to all the other characters.
They're all mapped to weird shit,
Yeah,
and their
yeah.
special moves would only be like single buttons.
Yeah, you'd have you wouldn't have a low punch, you'd press 2 and a special move would happen. It felt jank, and Goro still feels that way the one time you get to play as him in this game.
Anyways,
Okay, so on the topic of how good we are at this game, here's a caveat for those who are about to watch me go through story mode. I am not an expert at this game the way I tend to think of myself as being with the older arcade games. This game was a massive, massive upgrade in terms of, like, gameplay and learning curve for characters. For the first time in MK history, people didn't really all have universal normals or swap back and forth between certain subsets of fighting styles the way they did in the 3D games. No, in this game, you learned a main and you got good with that main, and it took a lot longer than it did in prior years, I'll tell you that for free. So, when this game came out, I got pretty goddamn good with Sector and Smoke. And with everyone else, I kind of played them a little bit here and there, enough to beat the arcade mode once or twice, and I didn't really touch the game much after the DLC characters came out until now. So you're not going to see me do 80-60% damage combos, just smooth, casual sailing, maybe a couple of nice tricks here and there. In defense of myself.
Yeah, if it was me, I mean, you've played a little bit of training mode to warm up for this recording. If it was me, we'd be going in raw, and I'd be, like, looking at the moves list, pausing every 4 fights when the character changes, because I don't remember how to play the game.
That said, I will ask you guys to, like, have some movesets handy, so I don't have to go in there and pause and look at shit, because my brain still says that Raiden's torpedo was back, forward. It's not 1995 anymore, and I apologize for that. I'm gonna forget shit, but hopefully not too often.
You know, I don't mind if you pause and look at the moveset, because it gives us more time to talk.
Fair enough.
We're going to have a lot to say, like, every single cutscene. I'm going to have a complaint somewhere in it.
Okay, I'm gonna try to be the because this is getting to the last point that I want to make before we finally start this, not to keep people waiting.
Jesus.
I know for a lot of people, this was their first Mortal Kombat game. This is the game that introduced a whole new generation of fans to this, and with MK12 being what it is, I think I'm seeing a certain wave of nostalgia for this game in particular coming up. Like Razor said, you were about to hear...
It's not undeserved.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not. It's really not.
Each of the games after this one is lesser than. I mean, X is better in a lot of places, especially narratively. But this is the peak in, like, the overall package.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. Like, you're about to hear Razor, me sometimes, the further on we get, kind of tear the story apart in places, but I'm going to try to say nice things when I can, because there's a lot to love. I like to say MK9 giveth and MK9 taketh away. It's a mixed bag for me in terms of lore, but everything else is just chef's kiss, you know? So
I'm going to try to impress upon people for whom they don't have any knowledge of the Midway games, and this was their first, why, you know, some of these story choices are worse than what we had in the old timeline.
We have that reputation of hating all the NRS games, and it's just not that simple. It's just that my problems with the game's story are just in terms of certain choices that are made, and I can deal with change when it makes sense. but there's a lot of like change for the sake of shock value, changing things because I don't know what, and more than anything, it's a question sometimes of tone and feel, more than anything else. So, if we rip apart something you like, please don't take it personally. Opinions are like assholes, everyone's got them, including us. Shall we?
All right. Now that half the episode's been recorded, let's start.
Let's do it!
See, Smokeman, that's why you're on the episode. Okay, so I do want to say something nice to start off with.
Let's.
I actually really like the atmosphere of this opening scene as a continuation from Armageddon. You know, the panning across all the dead bodies in the Pyramid of Argus, the canyon, and the vultures. The vultures are a nice callback to the Armageddon opening.
Oh yeah, this was...
There's Hotaru. Lee May kind of in the background there.
Here's what's left of Baraka. Wonder who finished him off.
Yeah, gee.
Someone killed
It's
Sub with
so hard
Baraka's
to tell.
arm.
It's a flesh wound. She'll be okay.
Flesh whoosh?
I said wound, man.
Nah, I heard whoosh.
Open your ears, clean them out.
Never.
Hi, Reptile.
Oh, there is, like, one of the things I want to complain about is, hey, there's
Has begun.
Everybody who's in this game is wearing their costume from this game, which implies that over the 15 years of the old timeline, nobody ever changed their clothes.
Oh, man.
Except Dark Raiden. He gets to have a...
Where are the Elder Gods, Raiden?
And here's, Shao Kahn in his,
Their
3D era
pathetic
character
mortal
model,
combat shackles me
which
no
he won't
longer.
wear in the rest of the story, even though it's a much better costume.
It's his versus DC costume.
Yeah, but
It's the straight model.
yeah,
Johnny
they were able to rip
car.
it because versus DC and this one have the same graphical engine and a lot of reused assets. But his versus DC costume was a
They
straight remake of his
masquerade as
Deception
dragons,
costume.
but are mere toothless worms.
I like the dialogue.
Yeah, actually,
Shao Kahn is very
whole-
good in this game. The way
the
he
whole
talks, his
toothless
voice
worm
actor.
speech is really good. So I do want to point out, the devs did confirm on Twitter that the reason Shao Kahn is up here at the top of the pyramid and glowing yellow is because he is the one who beat Blaze, according to this story. It's not like Taven beat Blaze and this is the power-up everybody got. It's not like Taven beat Blaze and then Shao Kahn beat Taven and stole the power somehow. It's explicitly Shao Kahn beat Blaze. So, that is a big inconsistency with the way Armageddon ended, where Taven beating Blaze is the canon last cutscene. Also, Raiden having this medallion that he never wore in the old timeline. Now, it wouldn't be until K11 that these inconsistencies would be explained as, no, they're not just retcons to Armageddon. This is actually a second Armageddon. It's a separate timeline.
Yeah, at the time when this thing came out, we actually didn't know for certain whether it was intended to overwrite the continuity that we all kind of held sacred.
I
on its
mean,
pedestal.
I always held that there are so many inconsistencies, it has to be a second timeline.
Oh yeah, but the question
So it
was
was
whether
nice
it was
to have confirmation.
the question was whether it was intended to overwrite the prior one or be something completely new that existed separately from it. And there were a lot of parties that kind of went both ways on that.
Yeah, but the final answer now is that Taven won. Chronica didn't like Armageddon happening and restarted the universe. Then Versus DC happened, and Chronica didn't like the crossover with the DC universe, so she restarted again. And then she basically remade 1 through Armageddon, but with little differences, like Melina has a different, like she's born in a different year, and Nightwolf was invited to the tournament, and Shao Kahn beat Blaze.
You know, I wanted to mention something earlier. You mentioned that it's just the same model for Shao Kahn in that cutscene. They should have reused more assets. They should have reused Scorpion's costume.
Scorpion especially. In terms of costumes I don't like in this game, Scorpion's primary is #1.
Good for you.
It's also just like the fact that the versus DC costume took inspiration from the MK2 commercial.
Yeah, that's the
It was a
thing.
lot better.
It would be a lot more thematic for this game.
Wasn't in that one.
Versus DC Scorpion looks like MK2. What Scorpion's wearing in this game does not fit a remake. It doesn't look anything like his 1 through 3 outfits. It's too big of a change.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny?
Also, I just don't like the H.R. Geiger aesthetic of his black undersuit.
He's not even on the screen yet.
Oh, he's next to Quan Chi right there in the.
He's not even talking yet. My God.
Final challenge.
This is the part of the game that gives me the warm and fuzzies. Let's focus on good things for a second.
No.
See, even this, like, it's nice to be in the courtyard and whatnot, but it bothers me that they skipped the boat.
I feel like the
Like,
game
a
expects
lot,
you to have
actually.
actually read the Tobias comic for MK1.
That's right. That's
It
right.
doesn't
Who's
work
it gonna be?
because they're introducing themselves to each other. Like, Johnny is supposed to have already met Lou and Raiden on the boat. That's the point of the boat, is so that you get the character introductions
Nice
out
start.
there before the tournament starts.
It's not too loud for you guys, is it?
No.
No,
Volume's good?
Volume's good.
Okay, cool.
Volume's good.
I will say though, I like.
Yeah, the first guy he fights is Reptile, man.
And
This
the
is
first thing that
the
happens is a punch in the
secret
nuts.
bodyguard is not a secret.
I will say though, I really like both these costumes.
Reptiles is all right. I like Johnny's. Johnny's is it's like a remake of what he was wearing in the comic, and that's good.
I appreciate that it's a costume with a ninja V for Reptile because that's not his primary for some
Yeah, his
reason.
primary has a fucking tube top and a ski mask on, and it looks so bad. I hate Reptile's primary, man.
Dang it.
His pants are green instead of black. Color scheme is all wrong. It just throws off the balance. Tube top! Why? Why a tube top? But yeah, it really bothers me that Reptile is the first guy you fight. He's not even supposed to be in the bracket. The whole point is he's a secret.
Can I say something positive?
Okay.
No.
I love the nighttime courtyard and the background music for it.
Yeah,
That's
Courtyard at Night is cool.
this right here. I love it.
I love it's a callback to Trilogy
That's it.
because it had the courtyard with a starry sky in that game.
I'm so
I really like the music in this, and they used a lot of the trailers for the game.
Oh,
I'm
this
taking
is
you out,
this
and
is
I'm taking you
Wait
out
for it.
dinner.
Yeah.
that is a good bit. And I will say, Jeff Pilson, Johnny Cage's voice actor, is the best Johnny Cage. No shade on Andrew Bowen. He's not bad, but I like Pilson. better.
Okay, nice makeup.
I'd like to put some
really
shade on
necessary.
Bowen.
I feel like
Not
no
Pilsen.
matter what game you're playing in the NRS era, Johnny Cage is automatically the highlight. He is magnificent in all 3 games. I love the pieces.
It's an interesting change because he was very nothing in the 3D era. Like, really kind of, and Johnny's here too because we don't know what else to do with him. We killed him off twice and it didn't stick, so here's more Johnny. But in the NRS era, it's always like Johnny's practically the main character.
They know greatness when they see it.
I like that get-up animation for Baraka.
I
I've
think I've
always
really
said,
noticed
like,
Shang stroking his beard back there.
oh yeah. The animation stuff for Shang back there's good. But yeah, I've always said, like, in terms of comparing the stories, that each character individually got their changes, the old timeline compared to the new timeline, every single character was worse off except Johnny, who's way better.
I think that has a lot to do with just having a voice actor and lines.
My producer
Cutscenes.
has got to meet you. We're doing
I mean,
Tommy
a big part of it
Scissorface.
is also that they killed off everybody but Johnny and Sonya at the end of this, so they had to use Johnny more.
Finish him? Yeah, right.
Oh,
Kill
we'll
him.
get there.
Now, how do
No.
tournament brackets work, you guys?
How have they ever worked?
Whoa. Whoa, wait a second.
I'm getting
not
a little
gonna
ahead of
kill
myself.
anyone.
I wanna, yeah, what is this look on Liu Kang's face right now? Pacifist Liu Kang, who refuses to kill, just sneered because Johnny wouldn't do a fatality.
That's it?
Liu does a
What
lot
is
of
wrong with
sneering
this
in this
speed?
game. I remember a lot of folks on
where'd that
MKO back
hide
in the
go?
day. There's one in
fought
particular
well.
who just really
Thanks.
hated everything
How's
about
that?
Liu Kang and the way he just
You should be more
kind of comes off
respectful of Lord
petulant and
He's the protector of
sneering and
Earthrealm, the
kind
god of
of
thunder.
kicks Katana in the ass
I don't know
later
what kind of
on.
role
We're coming up
playing
to
you're
that.
getting into,
Even
but
like
count
right
me
here,
out.
he's like
This
being
tournament
mean to
is
him for
more
no
than a
reason.
chance for personal
Yeah,
glory.
he's like-
We are fighting for the very survival of Earthrealm.
Liu Kang
What are you
is.
talking about?
There are
Your
people
last
to this
opponent
day
was Tarkatan.
who believe
He was
that
born
Brian
with those
Shard,
words.
the
Yeah,
main
those
writer
things
on
are
This and
real.
X,
He
had it out
represents
for Liu.
Outworld.
Just doesn't like
Had
the
you
character.
lost, the Emperor Shao
Because,
Kahn would
like,
have come one step closer to physically
The level
absorbing
of
our world
asshole
into
he's
his.
portrayed
Our
as in
world,
this
right,
game is
The Elder Gods created the
tantamount
Mortal
to
Kombat
character
tournament to give
assassination.
Earthrealm a chance
Not as
to
bad as
defend
some
itself.
people.
But if we
It's
lose this
staring
time, Shao
at the
Kahn will
center
conquer all.
of the
Dun, dun,
screen.
dun.
Look, guys, I'm an actor.
Again,
I saved
Johnny's
the world
stealing
from
every scene he's in.
If this emperor is
Yeah,
really
I
a
mean
threat,
this dialogue is good. The Johnny parts
me,
of it.
I've got a date with a blonde. Ciao.
What do you see in him?
He is a hero, Liu Kang, though he may not yet know it.
There's a version of this moment in Scorpion's Revenge that plays much better.
Yeah.
Because Johnny doesn't know that they're not shooting a movie, and they're like, "Why don't you tell him?" And Raiden's just like, "It amuses me."
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. Raiden liking messing around with Johnny is like, I mean, it's a testament to the strength of Raiden outside of all media apart from the games. He's always more fun outside of the games than he is within them. I wish he was not written like a block of wood.
Yeah, I hate Ken and Raiden so much.
To be very fair, this game's gonna make Raiden into a moron for the sake of the story, but he started being a moron in Armageddon, so I'm not gonna say it's an NRS fault.
I haven't liked the way the official material writes Raiden since the intro to Deadly Alliance.
Jeez, I thought I was harsh.
Damn.
Yeah. The only Raiden I will accept as a likable character is Threshold Raidens, and ones that are inspired by that. Because I just can't do with this fucking no personality, you know, the movie Optimus Prime just announcing everything in a loud booming voice, nothing but exposition.
So-
Here's what we must do. I can't deal with it.
It does get old.
So, we're beating up a woman for rejecting us right now.
Yes, this is one of the this scene bothers me a lot. Because you're playing as Johnny in this moment, and he's going to win this fight. And that seems fucked up, right?
I mean, a thing that we should be talking about eventually is this game will take any excuse, even the silly ones, to just orchestrate battles.
Yeah, but
So many of them.
Like, there are a lot that don't bother me. Like, I know there's later in the armory when Johnny and Jax fight bothers some people. I actually really like that scene.
Yeah, same
I
here.
think that's a
Same
good
here.
reason for them to fight, and the right guy wins. The problem is, the start of this scene is Johnny being overly aggressive, hitting on her pushing him away, and him putting up his dukes. And he just won that fight? What the fuck is going on?
I'll just leave you to your...
Well, he's got character growth to do.
And
He'll
now
be
he's
fine.
dead. I can't
Fuck
believe
him.
Johnny Cage is fucking
I can't
dead.
believe Kano saved Sonya from that asshole.
Yeah, right. Ah,
What do you think of that Kano costume?
it's alright. I wish that it wasn't, like, replacing the white gi.
Yeah,
But as an alternate skin, it does look like what Kano would wear.
neither of Kano's neither of Kano's outfits in this game bother me much. I miss the white outfit. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
won't get far.
Oh, I got a knack for survival.
I mean, I should also point out his head is... I was talking about shared assets from MK vs. DC. His head here is straight from that game. They didn't change it at all.
I think
True.
Baraka's is too.
Yeah, Baraka's is also.
And they both look better than Kung Lao.
Truth is,
I can't wait till we talk about Kung Lao, because holy god.
One of my favorite, like, graphical problems is if you look at the versus poses in this game, everybody has these weird, like, zit scars, like pock marks on all their faces. Like, it's a really bad attempt to add skin texture. You don't see it in the actual in-game graphics, it's just the versus poses, but it's, like, really uncomfortable.
You know, I don't think Johnny's Shadow Kick has been as cool as this game.
Johnny's moveset in general, like, this was the game that I mained Johnny. I don't think his moveset has been as good.
He is a lot of fun to play.
There's another,
And I love details like that right there,
Yeah,
like blowing
that he
up
can
the fist and shit.
charge up. Well, he has a jab where if you hold the button down, you
That
yeah,
one.
that.
Right there.
I love that.
And I love how he does the green effects for the EX nut punch.
Yeah. I like that if you EX the
Damn.
backflip kick, he does a shadow uppercut afterward.
Yeah.
I like that when you EX his moves, they're red.
The
I like
red
that he
bits are
says
part.
cat-
Yeah, definitely a big favorite of mine.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that he says catchphrases during his
Yeah.
EX moves.
Johnny Cage. just shout your name. I love that.
Johnny Cage.
Fuck him.
throw that on your Barbie. Shrimp.
That's one of my favorite lines.
Oh, he's so good.
I love that bit. So, I was saying earlier
His name's
about how the
Kino.
brackets work,
He was an
because
informant in a
Johnny
Black
was the
Dragon
first
investigation.
fighter in the tournament, so
Big-time
it's
arms
round
dealers.
1,
Turns
and
out
he fought
was
two
their
guys in a
leader,
row.
giving us the runaround.
That means
One of our
Baraka
guys
just
got
got a
killed
bye
because
to
of
the
him.
second round,
That's not a costume?
out of nowhere.
Actual military?
Special forces.
I wish for a tablet, man. I wish
You know
for
about this threat to the world stuff,
a
right?
6-page
Call them
guideline that says what the rules to the first Mortal
No
Kombat
idea who
tournament
you're
are. I
talking
feel like there are none set down in stone apart from anyone can challenge anyone at any time
You'll
for
have to
any
wait.
reason. And if
I
you say
appreciate your
no,
help, Cage.
it's a
Done.
point
But
against
right
you.
now I've got things to
I
take
feel
care
like
of.
just the
My
baseline
CO
should
is locked
be,
up on this island
we
somewhere.
can have
I
a
to
bracket.
find him.
Like, I could write you a bracket. I've done it. Just think for 5 seconds about what order people fight in. It's not that hard, especially if you're just... Like, Baraka didn't have a story reason to be the fighter who's in that scene. It could have been anybody. So if you're willing to just mix and match the jobbers, the NPC characters, then it would take 5 minutes to come up with a legitimate fucking bracket.
So now that we're in Sonya's chapter, can I say that I fucking hate this costume?
I just think she needs an undershirt. It's a little bit ridiculous, that's all.
There are two things. Undershirt and get rid of the stiletto
What did they do to
heels.
you?
Oh yeah, the,
Everything else about the
Yeah.
outfit, I think actually looks like, I wish the green was brighter, because every fan artist and cosplayer who does this outfit
Let
does
him
it
go.
in
You're not
black, and
part
you
of
can
your
clearly
tournament.
see it's not black, it's dark green.
There- yeah, but like,
You will face Subzero of the Lin Kuei clan of assassins.
it's so weird because there's been kind of like a systematic erasing of the color green from Sonya since this game.
oh yeah, she's like just turned blue. Straight up.
Why is she blue now? What the fuck?
Hey, speaking of blue,
Yeah.
Hey.
You know, like, in terms of, like, subtle Mr. Freeze ice puns, you will feel Death's Cold Embrace is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
it's alright.
I do. So this outfit is just Noob Saibot's alt in Subzero color.
Oh, see, I actually
Yeah.
really love that. That's a nice piece of, like, visual continuity between the two of them.
I'm okay with... There are things I like about this outfit. The one thing I really do like, is that, like, his knee pads look like mythologies.
Yeah.
Like, I wish they were blue, but it's the right pattern. But
I
one thing
kind of wish this
don't
costume
like,
had a V.
one thing I don't like is, yeah, it doesn't, like, the shoulders, it's too tight on the top. It looks Noob Saibot, but it does not look Sub-Zero.
Done. We're leaving. Stand in my way and I'll kick your ass.
A challenge.
Now this is a weird moment, because, like,
No. You will not be the one to challenge
So Raiden
Shang
gets
Tsung.
involved here because he just had a time vision. But
And now we
what
fight!
happened? What happened in the original timeline then? Did Sonya get beaten up by Shang Tsung here? Did Raiden show up and do nothing? Like, what happened before if he hadn't had the vision? Because it seems to be that as a consequence of this chapter, Kano doesn't end up chained up in MK2, and I don't understand how we get there.
I think the idea is that like he's seeing that Liu Kang is supposed to beat Shang.
Yeah, but Sonya wasn't gonna beat him anyway. In the original timeline,
Right,
Jax
he doesn't
wasn't
know
even...
that though, so he's like, I don't fucking know.
Right, but he teleported him before he had the vision, so what was he gonna do? In the original timeline, Jax isn't even here. Sonya had, like, some soldiers with her, some, like, NPC guys, and they're the ones who get locked up, and Sonya fails to free them and they die.
Right.
But if it's Jax, then he needs to be rescued because he's in the sequels.
I do like how Sonya plays in this game.
Oh, she's a ton of fun.
This is actually my favorite
your
Sonya in
eyes.
the NRS era, too, yeah.
I love the animation for her EX leg grab. She immediately grabs them and slams them back down again twice.
Yeah.
It's really
I like
cool.
that they put the up-bite kick in her X-ray.
Jax, come on, we're out of
Honestly, like, starting from X on, they would start taking away Sonya classic, like, iconic special moves.
You
This
allowed
was
them
the
to
last time Sonya would play like Sonya.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I mean, they gave Katana the square wave and made it into like an ass smash.
Come on, Jax.
But
move
I
it.
like the curved dive kick she's got going on in this game. It's
I
a great
like the ass
substitute.
smash because
I like the arc kick.
Yeah, it's good.
Where's that evac?
there is a way to give Sonya a square wave, and it's if you let her perch on the invisible wall like Vega. Then she could like punch off, she could like kick off it to punch people in midair without
Right.
having to explain how is Sonya flying? How does she have superpowers? You know?
Ah, it's endurance round time. Hooray.
Oh yeah, this is
Do
our
the,
this is our first 2-on-1.
Do the EX leg grab.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Damn
this is actually one of the fights you can sometimes lose. These endurance rounds are a pain in the dick. I do want to talk about how nice this stage looks, Shang Tsung's Garden, because it's one of the few stages in the game that's new and is not from MK1 through 3.
There you go, Smokeman.
I like that animation.
Yeah.
It's cool looking.
Now, the interesting thing about Shang's Garden is that basically they made it so they could combine a few stages and save space. Like, there are elements of the Palace Gates in here, there are elements of the Warrior Shrine in here. The reason I like it the most is there are heavy elements of the 95 movie version of Shang's Island. Like, it looks a lot like that, aesthetically. You can also kind of see the Pit 1 back there.
Oh yeah.
I have nothing but praise for the aesthetics of the MK1 stages in this game. Nothing.
Yeah, they look
Like,
great.
with the possible exception of the fact that, they kind of combined the Pit 1 and 2, which I don't know was all that necessary. But I'm concentrating right now. Can't say more.
Yeah, but, like, I think it's really, like, a clever idea to find ways to combine multiple stages, because there's such limited space, and that was one of the things I wanted to talk about losing the boat. Like, narratively, I really think Mortal Kombat 1 is missing something if you don't have the boat, because the boat is, like, 33% of what's iconic about Mortal Kombat 1, both in terms of the Tobias comic and the 95 movie. Now, the reason mechanically that we can't have the boat is that stages are made by human beings and it costs time and money. And I understand that. But let me suggest to you a couple of stages that are in this game that appear in story, but don't have a reason to appear in story. Like, the story contrives us being there when it didn't need to. The Armory, the Soul Chamber, Scorpion's Lair in Hell,
I'd say
the Bell Tower, the rooftop during the daytime,
Well, there's also the rooftop during dusk, which is the shittiest version of the
No,
rooftop.
I like the rooftop at dusk because it represents after the invasion has ended, and you get to see like you need that for the last scene of the game. Narratively,
but-
that actually is a requirement.
I guess, but I hate looking at it.
Yeah,
also-
I mean, I get why it's boring, but I'm just saying the story
also,
needs
like-
that environment.
Good
Also,
job,
like the
Shad.
roof-
You handled that like a champ.
How you
Thanks,
holding
Shad.
The rooftop day has sick-ass
Liar.
music.
After I get you to
I
base, I'm
have-
coming
Put
back.
that music
I-
in the other
Keno's
versions of
still
the
here
rooftop.
somewhere.
I have nothing but love for the soundtrack of this game.
Killed.
I don't think it actually gets anywhere near enough praise that it should. There's some
This-
really good arrangements of classic MK tunes in this game, and I love it so much.
Until
I think our ride's
12,
here.
this was the only
hang on,
NRS
hang
era
on.
game with good music.
Hang on. Wait for it. Hadouken! But yes, the music.
No!
My favorite track is
you!
probably the temple.
You have a challenger.
You know,
Kano.
I kinda wish, like, there's no reason not to have Shang have been the one to shoot that helicopter down, but I kinda wish that when the camera panned over, it was Kano holding a rocket launcher.
That would have been
Because
cool.
then it would like Chekhov's gun into the later scene where Kano is selling Shang rocket launchers.
I can't wait till we get there. Tarkans
but yeah.
with bazookas and rocket launchers.
But yeah, this game is the only NRS era game with good music until 12.
Nice.
And I
There's a
don't
couple of
think that-
jams in 11. The soundtrack to 10 just sounds like someone tuning a guitar for an hour and a half, with the exception of maybe one or two tracks. But yeah, I can't disagree on the whole with the statement.
I like all the bugs on the ground in this stage.
It does. I mean, we're in kind of a jungle-y space.
Yeah.
It kind of also reminds me of like Maya's stage from the Xbox Killer Instinct.
True.
You know, I will say I think the night version is better for the garden.
The night version works for like the warrior shriney aesthetic, but I like the daytime for the palace gatesy aesthetic. And I think it's clever that it's, you know, if you have day and night for stages, you can get more stages into the game without making more stages.
Kano is not your prisoner.
I like the
Please
little
help,
what the
Jax. He
hell
needs a
reaction
medic.
she just had with her hands with the fireball. Come on, really?
Bastard.
Really?
Yeah, so apparently this moment, from this point on, Kano just like hangs out with Shang, they're buddies now, and so Kano won't get chained up in MK2.
Sonya, you all
And I don't
right?
understand what Raiden
Hey,
changed
looks
in the
like you found it.
timeline to make
What's
that
up,
happen.
Sarge?
He's a... Hey, what are you doing?
It's okay. He's cool.
And this moment,
Yes. Tell us how about you hate Raiden healing people. Because
so
there's gonna be a lot of that.
yeah, so here's the thing, is that Raiden healing people would come back in future games, but this is the only time he does it in all of 9. So if you
Told
were
ya.
enjoying 9 in a
Turns out he's a
vacuum,
god.
and there are later scenes where people are, for example,
you,
slowly
Raiden.
dying on the ground, and
is
Raiden
unnecessary.
forgets he has the
I
power
have
to
foreseen
heal.
events, like
It's
memories.
kind of a problem. Why
They
did
lead
they
me to
introduce
believe
Raiden
that you are all
healing here
connected to
if
Earthrealm's
he's not going to
fate?
use it
What have you
ever
foreseen?
again in the rest of
In
the
my
game?
visions, Shao Kahn becomes
Man, it's a good thing no one ever
He
gets burned to a
destroys all
crisp
life
or
in
anything like
Earthrealm.
that.
We will
Yeah,
all
God, could you
die.
imagine if Raiden could have done
I
something
believe
about
these
that?
flashes are a guide
I
to
know
the
he'll
future
always be there to help his
I'm-
friends.
but
If that
disrupting
I'm
happens.
the
kind of
flow of
confused
time
why
can have
that's even
serious
there in the first.
consequences.
Like,
Yeah,
why
I'm not
have
worried. I
Jax
bet you can win
be
this thing,
like
no problem.
like beat to
Unless
shit
directly
like that
challenged, I cannot
in the
participate.
first
Yeah, like-
place?
What should we
Oh,
do?
they tortured me while they had me locked up. Okay,
Now
who
the
cares?
tournament must run its
It's just
course.
bruises, and Jax isn't
Alright
in the
then.
tournament, so he
We're
doesn't
with you,
actually
Raiden.
need his bruises healed.
Like, even then, like, why write that in if you're just gonna introduce something that's gonna fuck up your story at the end of the with the massacre? Like, why
Yeah,
couldn't?
I sense
like-
a douchebag.
The next match will now begin. Scorpion.
It's a lot of stingers.
Yeah,
Covered in scorpions.
Quan Chi.
get them off him.
Oh my God!
Hi,
There's
Scarlet.
more going down his back.
Yeah, Scarlet keeps standing in crowds in this. Never says a word.
I know it is you, Kung Lao.
No, it
Shaolin
isn't.
monks chose Liu Kang to represent
I don't
your
know who
order
you're
in this
talking about.
tournament.
My
I'm a
name
palace
is
guard.
Kang's equal.
my
That
name is
remains to be seen.
Lung Pao. I work for Shang Tsung.
Kung Lao.
Now you shall receive the gist of my fist.
Never mind the Lin Kuei.
Why does he
face a
look like a
Shaolin.
60-year-old dude?
Yeah, that's a
The
good fucking
model's
question.
bad.
Like, in comparison
Also-
to everyone else on this, Kung Lao just doesn't look good. It's always bugged me.
I want to
Also,
point.
like, I don't like this costume.
I don't hate it, but I do want to point out that in Raiden's vision, he was wearing the other costume.
This it makes the most sense here to put him in his primary because he wears this in his own chapter too, right?
Here's the thing. Kung Lao wears this outfit in every cutscene except the awards ceremony after the tournament, and as a revenant, which means the outfit he's wearing in the cutscene where he's a revenant is different from the outfit he's wearing when you fight him as a revenant. It's an error. But yeah, he almost never wears his primary in story mode, and it's weird.
It's just, you know, this scene was in Shaolin Monks. Maybe put the primary in that.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the other thing
You
is,
could've
in
done a
Raiden's
thing.
vision,
Instead
in
of using
Raiden's
this shitty
vision,
costume.
he saw Kung Lao fighting Baraka. Baraka's already been eliminated by Johnny Cage. In Shaolin Monks, they were fighting in Shang's throne room after the tournament was over. But in the vision, he was fighting him in the courtyard.
What's bothering me right now? Like,
No.
half the games that have come out since this game have hardwired me to think back forward and a button is Scorpion's spear control
Kung
maneuver.
Lao.
Oh yeah.
And in this one, it's still back and a
Listen,
button.
when your elders
I can't
speak,
believe it. It
I like
drives me
that
insane.
better.
Well, the reason they usually don't give him back is because that's also the backdash command.
Yeah.
Well, I think they changed
I think
it.
this was the last time it was back.
I
Yeah.
think they changed it in X and 11 because backdashing takes up resources in those fucking games.
You will demand nothing.
That's true.
Night
You get
Wolf.
nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. And speaking of losing,
Misplaced.
What do you know of my
You're not the only one whose people.
So I want to complain about Nightwolf being invited to the tournament.
before you do that,
But I have.
I want to say what a great put down it is. Fuck you. You think you're the only person who's been hurt. Let go. I love that entire scene right here. This is great.
So, well, the thing of it is, the reason I want to complain about Nightwolf being at this tournament is because Nightwolf's backstory changes in every single game he's in.
Yeah, he's not Great Cloud here.
And
Whatever.
in this particular game, the backstory they give is that he's several hundred years old and he uses his shaman magic to live longer. So he actually experienced like the pilgrims stealing their land
The
and
Trail
the
of
Trail of
Tears.
Tears and whatnot. Yeah. So he's talking from personal experience when he tells Scorpion that your people aren't the only ones who've, suffered and you need to let go of the revenge or it'll like poison your soul and whatnot. But so that version of Nightwolf would conceivably be strong enough to be one of their strongest fighters and get invited to the tournament. The reason in the original MK1 that Nightwolf wasn't invited to the tournament is because he wasn't one of Earth's strongest fighters in 1992. He started practicing shaman magic during the invasion, because before that he'd only studied it as a historian. He'd never actually cast any spells before. And then in MK11, they retcon it again that, oh, well, he was like a young trainee under, like, Nightwolf is a legacy title, and there was the shaman before him who was teaching him. And in Deception, Nightwolf, like, 10 or 20 years before Deception, was teaching Shujinko, so he was an active shaman before MK1 in that game. So it's like, why wasn't he invited to the tournament? And it's just every single game, his backstory fucking changes.
He's not a character. He's an experience.
There's no consistent answer to should he have been at the tournament or not. The only thing I can tell you is that MK2 specifically said only 7 warriors survived the tournament.
Fight Subzero
So if Nightwolf had been there, he's supposed to have died.
Well,
But obviously, those are the kinds of lines of backstory text that you ignore when you reboot.
Right.
wait till we get to MK3 and I'll talk to you about a line that I love that got ignored. But
defeat Sub-Zero if you must, but
I-
do not kill him.
generally
I fear his death will
speaking,
give rise to a more
I don't
treacherous
try to
foe.
hold this game to the standards of what MK1 said or set down. It's trying to be its own thing.
Spare
It's trying to do
Sub-Zero's
its own
life,
thing.
and I will request
Yeah, but
that
I
And
don't
I wish it was
want
better a lot of the
exile
time.
you to the realm of
but-
mortals.
I do
think
wish
if
for
you're-
I do wish for consistency. I just don't demand slavish adherence. You know,
I
that's
thi-
where I am.
I think if your gimmick is going to be like changing things up, maybe you should have some slavish adherence,
Yeah, if your
so
whole
that the changes stick out.
if your whole premise is that Raiden is having visions of the old timeline and altering things, then it should look more like the old timeline when he's not altering things.
But it's an alternate version of the old timeline. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, fuck off!
I'm just saying.
You said it yourselves.
I'm just saying Raiden didn't get any visions until he was already at the courtyard, so he could not have affected who was invited. So the people who were invited should be the same people who were invited to MK1.
We're talking about a series where there was a man standing before us who was part of a stealthy assassin organization who wears a fucking rocket pack of fuel on his back.
Can I say that Cyrax pushed him for no fucking reason?
Cyrax
And it's a
pushed him 'cause
challenge.
They hate the Shirai Ryu.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, this is an
That's all it
official
took.
tournament match, by the way. This is official. Shang Tsung made it a match, and he's watching and officiating it.
Oh yeah, this is an
which
endurance
means
round. God damn it.
who wins this match matters to the tournament. I want you to remember that for the future chapters.
I like those teleport effects.
It's pretty good.
On
I
the
would
Scout
not
Stallion.
walk around with a bunch of rocket fuel on my back. I'm just saying.
You don't understand Sector's character. He doesn't give a fuck about stealth. He gives a fuck about burning people.
I do understand Sector's character. I'm just this is not recommended equipment.
Well, he's not a ninja. He's a pyromaniac.
Yes.
And he gets to be a pyromaniac because his dad is in charge.
Yep.
This is a Nepo baby flamethrower.
Okay, no, seriously, we should actually discuss the fact, because it deserves some praise here, that Cyrax and Sector got unique human skins and
Yeah,
voices, and like nothing like that had ever happened before for either of them. This was so freaking cool.
We've seen Cyrax unmasked as a cyber ninja before. We knew he was black, but this is our first time seeing them before they were cyber ninja.
And they have different animations depending on what form they're in.
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
actually really
It's
cool.
really
they
awesome.
put in the effort. These
Yeah.
alt costumes basically work like premiere skins in Injustice 2.
I do kind of wish that they had like Lin Kuei ninja masks on them, but like that's fine.
If you could have like a third outfit or like a 2.5 outfit, I would really like masks. Yes, but I suppose we should talk about like in terms of people not being invited in the original MK1. Sector and Cyrax is a big one. Because the whole Sub-Zero's entire backstory is changed in this game from somebody hired him to assassinate Shang to Shang hired them to assassinate other people. Which is going to deeply affect Kuai Liang's story at the next tournament.
Oopsies.
Yeah. Nobody, like, everybody wants to retcon things. They never think about the butterfly effect.
I'm surprised you haven't brought up the fact that, like, Deception says that depending where you're from is the place you're born at is a huge factor, according to Bull Right Show, on whether or not
Yeah.
you can actually compete for your chosen side.
Well, I think Deadly Alliance said it first, but yes, if you're from Earthrealm, your wins count for Earthrealm, and if you're from Outworld, your wins count for Outworld. That's why Bo Raicho trains people, because if he actually fought at the tournament, he could only represent the wrong side.
You know, I've always felt that... Sorry, go on.
Before, I do like the dialogue here,
Oh, it's great. Yes.
and like I love the direction when you beat Subzero, like the way the cutscene plays out when he returns and shit.
I will like
This is cool.
I was talking about stages that didn't need to be in the game and we could have gotten the boat instead. Now, everybody loves Scorpion's Lair. It's one of the coolest original trilogy stages, so I wouldn't have lost it. But I am saying there's no reason they had to teleport here for this fight.
It looks cool. Shut up.
But it was a cool thing to do after the line of dialogue, though.
I guess I can
to hell with you.
kind
It
of...
was sick.
Yeah, whatever. I kinda can accept it because he did the same thing to Johnny in the '95 movie.
Yeah,
I'm just see exactly.
Still not sure how Johnny got home.
Sometimes, and I'm serious, it looks cool, shut up, is a valid excuse to do something. I stand by that.
I do wish that there were more pillars made of bodies in this version of it.
I just punched you in the dick.
Because there's like only one, and there's not even that many bodies in the pillar.
You know what I feel like Raiden should say in terms of like being where you're from, being a contributing factor as to whether or not you can actually compete in a tournament for your chosen side? I feel like Raiden would be the kind of person to go, mortals are in control of their own destinies. If you want to fight for Outworld, I'm not going to stop you. The Elder Gods aren't going to stop you. Your life is your own. However, if you go to Shao Kahn and go, sir, may I please be allowed to compete for Earthrealm, I hope you brought a goddamned gun to that conversation. That's what I think that should be specified in a future game. You can if you want to.
So that does sort of... I feel like you're touching on the idea of, like, how does Shang hiring Earthrealmers to eliminate other Earthrealmers work in a tournament?
Yeah.
And my answer to that would be, obviously, he's going to pay them to take a dive if they make it to the final battle.
There you go, that too.
It kind of writes itself. I shouldn't need to say it.
Scorpion.
Yeah, I love the way this cutscene plays out.
This is really nice.
This animated segment he's about to show is really good. But I do want to say, in terms of, like, teleporting them away from the island to have this fight, shouldn't Raiden be like, how do we know he's not cheating right now? None of us can see how the fight's going.
That's a good point.
Like, there's no referee. Send a Shadow Priest with them or something.
Yeah, there's an unstated thing where, like, when Liu fights Goro later on, he gets teleported to Goro's lair, and it's almost like no one is allowed to intervene, like it's running on an honor system, which is interesting.
Yeah. I do feel like you could say, well, in that case, Shang probably is, like, scrying on the fight. Because it's happening on the island. But this one, he teleported him to another realm. Like, what if neither of them came back?
Portal opens, beat comes out. Hello, everyone.
By the way, that's Kuai Liang's outfit, not V. Han's.
They have a communal wardrobe.
I think it always bothered me that he uses a normal fucking sword in this.
I mean, here's the thing, is that I believe what Quan Chi is showing him is what actually happened, except Quan Chi did it.
Right.
So Quan Chi can't do ice, so he used a sword.
See, I dig that. I agree.
Because, like, in other stuff, like Scorpion's Revenge, Quan Chi apparently can just morph into Subzero and freeze people. Like, that's a Shang power. That's not a Quan power.
Oh, yes.
That bugs me.
I do want to say that when Raiden saw this all this happening, he initially saw Scorpion having ripped Sub-Zero's head off, which bugs me, because this is the way it should always have happened. Scorpion should always have killed Sub-Zero with the toasty.
Ouch.
I believe in the Tobias comics, he does specify that Scorpion burned them both to death, himself and Sub-Zero.
I have to go and check that out. I don't remember that one.
I do like that whole bit with the slow motion and bringing the skull back.
Despite my efforts, my vision has come to pass.
Oh,
An
what a
unfortunate
shame.
end He once defended Earthrealm from the Netherrealm armies of Shinnok and Quan Chi.
Yeah,
Mythology
so
is still
mythology is
Sub-Zero's
still
fate is
canon,
his
Or
own
some
but
version of
nobody is pointing
The
out that
Lin Kuei
Quan
have a
Chi is
history of
wearing the
making
fucking
ruinous
amulet.
choices. Such as the Cyber Initiative.
Crap, he knows.
I am among those speaking out against the Grandmaster's plan.
And you're
Surgically
still
transform the
alive?
Lin Kuei into glorified robots.
I'm
It
amazed
kills
there's
our
that much
intuition,
democracy
our
going on.
instincts.
Yeah,
Did
right.
you speak out against the Lin
The other
Kuei's
thing is, so
participation in this tournament?
Cyrax in this
Well,
game was
invited
given a
by
bio
Shinso.
about
He paid you
like
to kill Earthrealm warriors,
how he believes
betraying your
in
own realm?
chi
I
and
expect
like
better, even
the
from an
warrior
assassin.
spirits
My loyalty
will be
is to the
deadened
Grandmaster.
by becoming a cyborg, and that's why he's
Victory
against
for
it.
Shang Tsung means the end of Earthrealm.
Cyrax doesn't have any
And the Lin
powers. His special moves are all gadget based. He throws potions and nets at you, and
He
has a
the
buzzsaw on his wrist.
buzzsaw.
Yeah, it's attached. It's like on his wrist gauntlet.
I mean, you don't have to be using it effectively to believe in it.
I'm just saying, like, if I was writing Cyrax's backstory, so the original MK3 never specified that he was against the Cyber Initiative. It didn't explicitly say whether he was for or against it.
He was
It
the
just
guy
says
in the middle. He was selected for automation.
he
Doesn't say
was
anything about him,
selected.
like, resisting it. He just,
But-
in the NRS games, he just inherited Smoke's old story, pretty much.
Yeah, they just gave him all of Smoke's shit. Now, here's the thing, is that if you look at his ending in MK Gold, he says that, like, I realize now that being automated was bad and I want my humanity back, which means he wasn't originally against it. When asked to volunteer, he went along with it. So I would have written a backstory for him that's like, he's not sure of it, but he's also thinking, this will give me superpowers and I'll be more useful to the clan, because all of the guys with abilities get the best missions.
Can I say something real quick? Why the fuck are we seeing Shiva before Goro?
Yeah. So not only are we seeing Shiva before
I knew
Goro,
that was gonna come up.
but this is not a tournament fight. She never fights in the tournament. There's no reason given why she's on Shang's island. She should not be seen this early in the story. There's no reason for this fight to be her. It could have been anybody. It could have been Reptile.
It would have been an actually good use of him. What the fuck?
Yeah, Reptile would make more sense because he works more directly for Shang Tsung. But here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing. Reptile doesn't have a single line of dialogue in this entire game.
Oh, yes, he does.
Even in his versus intro, he doesn't speak. He just hisses at you.
He says pie.
He does have a very
Okay.
specific line of dialogue, and you'll
Okay.
see it later. I promise.
There is a scene where he whispers into Shang's ear, but there's no speech. It's whispering, and we don't get to hear it.
I hear something when he's talking.
If Reptile had been in this scene instead of Shiva, then they'd have had to give him dialogue. Which I want! I feel like somebody on the team, like, and obviously they changed their mind immediately because he talks in X. But at this point, in like 2010 when they were making the game, somebody on the team was embarrassed that Reptile drags out his S's when he speaks, and so they just decided to not have Reptile
That's just
talk.
what lizard men do.
Yeah. Every lizard man in fiction does it because it's what's expected and it makes sense and it works.
Man, this is going poorly for me. I cannot use Cyrax to save my life. See?
Yeah. Cyrax is one of the top tier characters if you're competitive and know how to use him, but he's very technical and complicated.
I am
it's
not good with computer.
I'm pretty good with Cyrax.
You can time your bomb setups?
Yes.
Okay, well, normal people don't have that kind of time to put in the practice.
I was like, what, 14?
Yeah. At some point, I got up to like 40% damage combos with the guy.
But
I don't have that
never
time
liked
for
playing as Cyrax because of the bomb setups.
Back in the arcade days, like, one guy used to wreck my shit all the time in MK3. I used to play every now and then. Use Cyrax like a god. I've always had a healthy respect for the character.
When I do a special move, I want it to just go. I don't want to wait for it.
Do like a 2-on-2 into a bomb and then do a net immediately after.
Your mom's a 2-on-2 into a bomb.
You're so mean.
Got him.
Yeah. Jokes! Nice.
You don't know what 2-on-2 means, do you?
2, 1, 2. Yes, I know.
Yeah. It means
That's
press
not
2 and then 1 and then 2.
That's 3.
Oh, you're actually telling me to do
buttons
that
are
in the
fucked
game
up.
right now. I see. I get it now. I'll throw him instead.
Yeah, I do, like, I want to point out, Cyrax doesn't have powers. When he teleports as a human, he's throwing a smoke bomb at the ground and doing ninja shit. It's all, like, misdirection and trickery. So he directly benefits from becoming a cyborg. I would have written that into his story, given the human version and inferiority complex that gives him a reason to agree to being part of the initiative, and then he regrets it later when he gets his humanity back. And then you have a different character from Smoke.
What's up?
Yeah, but that's stupid, Razor.
Sector, we need to talk. Our host tried to have me killed.
You were speaking with the Thunder God.
I'm trying to have a sneering conversation over here.
Cyrax.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Cyrax hadn't actually done anything wrong yet.
Shall see.
But
the next match will be Cyrax versus Johnny Cage.
It is nice of
Cyrax
Sector to, like, stick up for him.
Then.
Cyrax is having a tournament match right now after Scorpion eliminated him in Sector. Is that what's happening? I believe that's what's happening.
Did he eliminate him? Did he really?
See, that's the thing. Shang Tsung saw them pushing each other and declared that they were having an official fight. And then he sat in his chair and he officiated it. It was part of the tournament, and Cyrax lost.
They both lost.
They did. Sector's out of the bracket too. But Sector doesn't fight in the bracket. Cyrax is doing it right now.
Maybe it's a double elimination, and that you have to get eliminated twice.
Yeah, I'd like to see proof of that.
Rules in the tournament. As if.
So if you get fatality'd, then double elimination can go fuck itself. So there are strategic reasons to kill all your opponents. You won't have to fight them twice. I feel like Raiden was present for the Scorpion one, right? Because he talked to them afterward. So why isn't he raising his hand to go, hey Shang, you're cheating right now, that guy was already eliminated, this is against the rules. Like, isn't that Raiden's job?
If I was writing MK1, I would have Raiden, like, cheat back just a little bit in response to Shang's bullshit, you know?
It would be nice.
I'd probably, like, include... I've also had this idea for a scene which, like, has Rain at the tournament, and, like, have him be on the verge of beating Johnny Cage and being about to finish him with, like, lightning. And the second he summons the lightning down, you see Raiden there with his arms folded, slowly raise his index finger while Raiden summons the lightning down, and have Rain zap himself in the face. I'm gonna write that shit.
That's just because you think Rain is a joke.
No. It serves Raiden a little bit, and also, yes, because I find Rain to be funny when he's on his face.
Shad raises an interesting point. If Rain and Raiden are in the same game, then Raiden should be able to cancel out Rain's move.
I've always assumed so. Sneer.
You were commanded to kill Johnny Cage.
Okay, you were just... Yeah, you're paid to eliminate them. You're not paid to kill. You don't have to kill them. This is completely unnecessary. We don't... In fact, this entire chapter didn't need to be in the game. You know, it's nice to give Sector and Cyrax some screen time, but it could have happened during 3.
Could it? So much happens during 3.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So much.
Yeah, but so much doesn't happen during this version of Free because it's the shortest part of story mode, even though it's the longest part of the original trilogy.
Oh, we'll talk about that plenty once we get there. I got a lot to say about 3.
I feel like if you stuck a chapter in the 3 where, like, Jax reprograms Cyrax the way he reprograms Subzero, then you could play as Cyrax during the invasion, and you could be an MK3 character during the MK3 part of the game.
I didn't need to do that, but it was satisfying.
I've always liked it.
That's a fun X-ray.
Yeah.
I wish he had more of that pile driver, like, if it was a moveset move and not just an MK9 only X-ray, because he has, like, an air throw in all the other games, but it's kind of a boring throw, and if it was the pile driver, like, foot on their head, crushing them into the ground, it'd be more visually interesting, that's all I'm saying.
I'm really gotta stop throwing nets at this bastard. Like clockwork with a teleport punch.
Yeah. And he's getting... surprisingly even fight, considering it's not an endurance match.
Whew.
There you go. Juggle off the throw.
Tell the Grandmaster.
That's how I play Cyrax too. I don't learn anything.
I really wanted to for this playthrough, but just so much work to do. So much reliance on bombs.
Here's another thing I want to point out, is that Cyrax just won that fight and walked out of the story, and the next time we see him,
he's done. His plot relevance is through for the time being.
Behold!
1 second, I love this bit.
Yeah, that's the thing about Ermac, is every time he shows up in the story, he gets a big entrance, like they really push him for SummerSlam, but then he gets beat up by the dumbest characters.
We're gonna talk about that in the Cyber Sub-Zero chapters later on, how like they try to have him destroy the strongest people possible to really sell you the concept of Sub-Zero as a robot. It's Kintaro and Goro, and then it's Ermac, who's capable of beating 5 people, according to Deception, at the same time.
I mean, this fight is fine because Liu Kang is the strongest guy, so if you're gonna have Ermac lose, have him lose to Liu. But all the other fights are dumb.
I just really miss Ermac's sound design from this game. The way his
me too.
Sound.
I think everyone does.
Yeah. So the other thing about the fact that Cyrax has just exited the story and won't show up again until he's a robot is it means he got captured and converted off-screen. Now, why couldn't you have ended the prior cutscene with, like, okay, you beat Sector in the fight, but then Sector, like, as you're walking away, he gets up and he, like, knocks him out from behind or does something to fuck him up. Like, you could have had Cyrax get captured on screen. It wouldn't have been that big of a change to the story that's already happening. It just seems dumb to have him, like, get away and then reveal later he didn't get away. It's just, there's so much unnecessarily clumsy storytelling, so many things that could be improved by small changes.
Nice.
Ooh, that was sick.
I'm glad that happened because fuck Ermac's X-ray, holy Christ.
Fall into your master's hands.
This game was the last time that Ermac's costume and voice and moves were all, like, good.
He is a greater threat than anticipated.
He is a lot of fun. This was the game that Ermac started feeling a little bit, like, clunkier to control, but still within acceptable parameters, I'd say.
So,
the only thing I actually dislike about Ermac in this entire game is the fact that I can see the bridge of his nose. His nostrils.
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's just strange.
They slowly started uncovering, like, unraveling more and more of the Deception outfit until we're at the point we're at now where you can see his whole goddamn mummy face.
And I do want to specify that, like,
Your visions.
Making a big deal out of Ermac
My
being at the
future self sent
MK1
them to
tournament
me,
the way that they just did
perhaps to ensure
is a
some
wonderful reference and
Or to
callback,
prevent-
like Shaolin Monks did to the MK1 Ermac rumors. I love that.
If you're going to add characters to the tournament, Ermac is one of the ones that
He
makes the
must
most
win.
sense. Because
Those
of
are
his
my
rumor
last words
origins being
before I
tied
die.
to MK1.
I believe it is you who must win.
Now,
This amulet was forged by the Elder
there is
Gods.
one other thing I want to
It
say
cracked
about
here in
Ermac,
prison
and it's
after
that
my
this
first
game
vision.
would be the
If we
first one
choose
to
wisely,
introduce the
the
idea that one of the
future will be
souls inside him is
secured and the
Jared.
cracks healed.
Oh yes,
I
endings.
trust you will make the right decision.
Yeah, but it never
must
comes
trust
up
in the Elder
in story
Gods,
mode
Liu Kang.
or in MKX. It really should have been in MKX. Like,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're gonna introduce that kind of thing, you gotta pick it up in the sequel. And that there are many bios in MK9 that introduce a story idea that shows up nowhere in the story mode.
You know-
Another huge one is Sonya's
dad.
motivation.
Sonya's dad.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, she joins the Special Forces because her dad went missing and is presumed dead while investigating, I think it was the
good.
Black Dragon Gang.
Show me more.
You know, I really did not like that bit where he just kind of playfully kicked their ass.
Oh yeah, this is the one of the examples of, like, Liu and Kitana both being written poorly that people who don't like how they were treated in this game frequently bring up, is that, like, he's sort of not taking her seriously as a fighter. Like, he starts flirting with her from the moment he sees her without knowing anything about her. And it just, like, I don't know, like, Liu Kang is supposed to be a monk. He's like a guy who was raised in a chaste environment. So if he's gonna develop a relationship with this woman, it should start not from, oh, she's pretty, and I can, flirt with her. It should start with, like, her, like, he has respect for her as a warrior, and they grow closer as they work together to take down Shao Kahn.
You can get a bicycle kick after that.
I know.
But he didn't.
He didn't.
I didn't practice everything, okay? I'm still doing good. I'm still doing good. I'm still doing good.
You're not now.
Another thing I
Ignore
want
the
to point out,
fans in my face.
this would be the first game to have X-rays, and Kitana's is one of the first ones where it's like, that would kill a person. That's not...
All over this
Kitana's-
game, left and right.
Kitana's X-ray has been the same for 3 fucking games.
Yeah, she always shoves the size... The fans.
Which one are you talking about now?
They're closed fans.
She
The
always
size?
shoved the closed fans in your eye
Why would I do
sockets.
that?
Every single game, she's putting them all the way through your skull, through your brain. You should be fucking dead.
Shao Kahn is your father?
I have disgraced him.
Other people
You
have
must
X-rays
kill
where
me.
it's like I broke your leg.
It
You
used
can
to
still
bother
fight.
me. It used to bother me, and
encounter
now
never
it just
took place.
doesn't.
You have
It
disgraced.
would
Yeah,
just
it's
be
normal
nice.
now.
I'm
it's
just like-
perfectly mundane after 4 games.
It'd
but
be nice if more than were like
I hope we meet
Scorpions
again.
or Ermacs, you
Under
know?
Difference.
The path we're going on, someone's gonna rip out somebody's
don't-
ribs, jam them up someone's arse, and spin them until they come apart into several pieces.
Look.
And that's an
before
X-ray,
we-
not a fatality. Yeah, that's the
Yep.
problem.
Yep.
You don't have to stab people through the brain, is all I'm saying. You could do other X-rays.
Before we move on, I want to say that Scorpion's Revenge has a much better version of that scene we just saw.
Oh yeah, it just cut that thing
True,
down to its
that's
bare
true.
essentials.
Like, again, the Scorpion's Revenge version of that encounter has them talking with respect to each other and treating each other as warriors, and the relationship grows from that.
Earthrealm's fate is in his hands.
Although the resolution to their, like,
Your opponent
romance
will be
in Battle of the Realms was
Scorpion.
very rushed. But it was good
A
in
lot of things
Scorpion's
are rushed in
Revenge
that
as
game.
like a
I
first
hear
meeting
you,
between the two. That was a good
Fighting
foundation
with
to lay.
Scorpion, the sorcerer
Unlike this or
quantity.
Shaolin Monks.
Oh god, another intense
Oh, I
round.
forgot about this.
I want to point out, I can't remember if it was during the Ermac fight or at the start of this cutscene, but Shang said Liu is the last fighter left standing.
It's here.
From
He just
Earthrealm.
said it. I think.
Yeah. When was Sonya eliminated?
Oh.
Exactly. Another event happens off fucking screen for no reason.
You know what happens off screen? 95% of the second MK tournament in this game. 95%.
And 95% of the invasion too.
Sonya was eliminated by Johnny.
When then She fought Subzero after that. She fought Kano after that.
Do you think Shang cares?
How do I tournament?
Shang specifically said, "You're in this tournament. Here's an opponent for you," twice after Johnny beat her. The fight with Johnny was seen by no one and was not part of the tournament.
He's old. He says a lot of things.
Sonya was not eliminated.
Damn it.
Is this the only game where Quan Chi says Wu-Lei?
Yes.
Why is this the only game where Quan Chi says Wu-Lei?
Right?
It's NRS's best contribution to the character.
I saw a mod for 12 that
makes
adds
him say
the Wu-Lei to his X-ray, and it's my favorite mod for 12.
That sounds fucking sick.
That's a meme we need. Powder that makes you say Wu-Lei.
Yeah. So, something I want to mention, you can see in the night version of the courtyard here, there's an environmental element. There's, in the center of the platform, there's like this grate with green light shining up from it that has a Shokan logo in it. Right there.
I see it.
God damn it.
At the end of this fight, I think what was supposed to happen is that that's supposed to be a trap door that snaps open and Liu is meant to fall into Goro's lair. But somebody decided that they were too lazy to animate it that way, so instead Shang just makes a portal at Liu's feet for him to fall through.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's always bothered me. I wish
you.
the trap door worked. I wish that in the cutscene that's how he got to Goro's lair. Is that your first loss?
Yes, it is.
That's your first loss.
Yeah, I told you those endurance matches will get you.
Trying again.
Okay. You know, one thing I appreciated is that this is a reboot, so if they had wanted to, they could have taken away Liu Kang's Bruce Lee-isms, and they did not do that.
But why would you ever do that?
It's been done before. Robin Shu, for instance, never does any of the woo noises.
You know, I do appreciate that Quan is in a 2D game.
This is, like, I hate that the Skydrop doesn't have the stomping, the dance.
It needs the tap dance, that's always bothering me.
It needs a tap dance. I think it looks
dance.
the worst in this game. Because he, like, hits them with the edge of his boot. It's weird. But,
I think it's equally bad in X, and I know, like, in 12 he has, like, a brutality where he tap dances, but I need it to be the default.
Right.
Like, what's the point of the Skydrop if he doesn't always tap dance? That
I can
was
tell you
what
right
made
now,
his teleport more interesting than other people's teleports.
I do not even know what his move list in 12 is. I have not checked.
But I do think
the only move he's missing is the trance.
In terms of having a consistent Quan Chi moveset, because the moves he has in Mythologies are very different from what he has in 4, which are different from what he has in the 3D era. The ones 9 establishes for him are what I feel are the definitive Quan Chi moves. You've got the chewing green skull. You've got, and it comes out of his hands, not his face. It started coming out of his fucking. Well, it's supposed to chew. That's my point. Just like the Skydrop is, the skull is supposed to chew, the Skydrop is supposed to dance. But the other two moves, the ground rune and the trance, those 4 moves are the best Quan Chi moveset. The same way 9 came up with the best smoke moveset, it has the best Quan Chi moveset.
I'll agree to that.
What he
Yeah.
iconically should always have. It's chewing skull, tap dancing Skydrop, trance, and ground rune.
I do not miss the MK4 little ankle slide where he was like,
that shit sucked.
That was weird.
It was dumb. Now see, he's standing on the trap door, so if the trap door just opened,
Yeah, I see
But
it.
somebody was lazy, so they did a portal instead.
Oh wait, maybe it's because they didn't model the trap door at the
that's
top
the thing.
of the Goro's lair.
That's the thing. The trap door corresponds to a skylight above the chair.
Oh no.
Yeah, see?
Oh, I
that's,
see it.
That's where he should. That's where he should be falling from. And it would be kind of funny if he like landed in the chair and was sitting in it.
And this is some of the most dialogue Goro will have for 3 games.
Oh yeah.
True.
The other thing I want to point out is that before this fight, Johnny said, "What's a Goro?" So this is like the whole tournament has gone by, and Shang never mentioned the title holder. Like Goro gets no fucking respect or gravitas. He has no like grandeur or like he doesn't get a big entrance. There's no pomp and circumstance for him at all, and it's doing him so fucking dirty compared to how like he's the guy in like the Tobias comic and the '95 movie.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
a whole
it's like
presentation in the '95 movie.
It's like, what if you were watching WrestleMania and Roman Reigns didn't get an entrance? It just doesn't make fucking sense.
I feel like Goro as a character has not really existed since arguably Deadly Alliance.
You know, I do appreciate that they put the cartwheel uppercut in his X-ray.
Yeah, I always love that.
He had it as a regular special move in versus DC. I kind of like that too. Like as long as it's somewhere in his presentation.
I think it should have some kind of like specialty because it was a fatality.
Well,
it should be something special.
Here's the thing: is that as long as you put it somewhere in the game, then I can do it when the announcer says finish him. You know,
slap the taste out of his mouth.
As long as the animation is in there and it doesn't kill people, but I can do it when I'm supposed to be killing someone as like, no, I'm not gonna kill him. I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna do the thing. That's all I ask. The other thing I appreciate is that Goro does have the green fist projectile in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Instead of breathing fire. That's nice.
Someone's chasing an Oni back there.
Was that a masked guard?
Who was that?
It looked like one of the guys in like, I don't know, the Shaolin Monk's armory or something.
It might have been a masked guard. It was hard to tell. How does he get into that portal? How does he jump that high?
He does a vertical dragon kick.
So while Liu and Goro were fighting, everybody just walked to the throne room for no reason.
Yeah, what the hell? Oh, that's right, because Shang is the last fight.
Yeah, they changed that. The tournament should have been over with that fight, and this almost seems to set up the atmosphere that it actually is, with the music and the fanfare and whatnot. Yeah, it's like Liu Kang just challenges him right here for the hell of it.
Only one fight remains.
Well, Shang gets up out of the chair like he knows the fight is coming, but there's been no setup.
It's not clear.
Well,
so for people,
he says in the Johnny chapter that he's the last fight.
Yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't. It's
for people
lame.
For people who are not familiar with the way the story is supposed to go. Goro is the champion. When you beat him, you've won the tournament. In the original MK1, the only reason Shang is the last fight is because Liu's backstory is specifically that he doesn't just want to save Earth at the tournament, he also wants to kick Shang out of being the referee, because the Shaolin used to be the referees, and Shang fucking cheats. So Liu wants to bring the tournament back to the Shaolin Temple. That's why he fights Shang at the end. He's already won the tournament by beating Goro, and now he's doing an extra thing. Even the '95 movie came up with an explanation. They acknowledged Goro is the champion. Normally, if you beat him, you win. But Johnny went up to Shang and said, I want to fight Goro early, and Shang said, I'll let you, but in exchange, I get to pick who I fight for the final fight. They cut a deal.
Damn it.
Neither of those things happens in this game. There's no explanation why Shang would be the final fight.
You know, I love this version of the throne room.
It's beautiful.
This is my favorite throne room, yeah. Although, speaking of stages, you could have cut to include the boat. You know that training room that shows up in training but is not anywhere in story mode?
Yeah.
You could have just done training in Shang's throne room. Because that training room looks like another room in Shang's palace. Just feels like unnecessary. They could have saved some dev time, not done that stage, done the boat instead. I would
Y'all
really
sitting
like
here
to have
hoping for a boat. I mean, talk to me in MK2 next time when we talk about the portal and the combat tomb.
Yeah. Look, when we get to MK2, I don't know if I'll be able to stop trashing the armory.
I feel like Sonya
only...
should really be running after Kano right now, but let's just forget about that.
Yeah, we're just gonna let him go. The entire reason she's here is to catch him. I guess it's not... That's another thing. Shouldn't Shang be making the island collapse right now? Where's the earthquake?
No, they just leave disappointed.
The earthquake is in every single version of MK1 except 9. Every single version.
God knows, Razor. God knows.
Okay, well, that was enough bitching for one night. Join us next week for the second tournament, the Outworld tournament, whatever you want to call it, because technically it's the 11th tournament, but nobody ever says that.
It's the Outworld tournament. I've always called it the Outworld tournament.
Yeah, the Outworld tournament.
I just call it the second tournament. Fuck it.
I guess if you count the Great Kung Lao and Shang Tsung tournaments before, then it's
the
like
second...
it's like the 21st. Something. It doesn't matter.
It's the second tournament that we're experiencing. Fuck it, it's the second tournament.
Yeah. That's always my favorite thing. Is like in the arcade endings, for 2 and 3, it would call it the second tournament or the third tournament, or there will be a fourth tournament, and it's like, but if MK1 was the 10th,
you're being a fucking dork. Shut up.
I just think it's funny. All right. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
See you later, nerds.
Have a nice day.
Oh,
really feeling the love.